Alright, so this video is going to be about the Airdog I just installed. Get on so you can hear it. So it's the Airdog II-4G, so super quiet. Alright, she's ready to crank up. Being LB7, people obviously know with an LB7 that they don't always have a consistent crank time because it has to build up the vacuum pressure in order to get all the fuel that it needs to crank up. Move it outside here. Just need to clean the garage out a little bit. And I'll show you guys all the stuff they gave you to install it. Just because I can. So, for us LB7 owners, just, you know, what I used for wiring and all that stuff. So that fuse right here is the ignition fuse. Or ignition E, 10 amp. So that's what I used in the video on YouTube where they had the LBZ 2006 that they were installing it on. They used the TBC ignition or whatever it was. So yeah, this does not have that. It does have a TBC fuse. That's all it says is TBC. And they only gave us enough wiring to, you know, go a short distance. So that's a mess. And I did what they did, and I hooked the positive up there, except I had to cut that tip off and put a different one on there because this nut is huge. I think it's a 15mm nut on there, so that's huge. They didn't say they had to do that, but then I did the same thing there. They used the engine ground and then the hood ground or whatever the frick that is. I mean, my dad's truck doesn't even have the light, and yet it's got the cable going to the hood. I don't understand what that's for. If it's got a ground right there. That's all there is. It's just a cable from there to there. So who knows? Anyway. So the 165, because this is the Airdog II-4G 165, is for slightly modified to extremely modified or something like that. It's the in-between for stock and, you know, extreme performance. Well, I emailed Airdog themselves, and they were saying that you can use the 165 because we've tested it on stock trucks and it does fine. Well, then I also asked them about having the cat filter on there. You know, is it going to be okay for a cat filter? And the guy was just like, well, it shouldn't hurt it. And I was like, well, I just wanted to know if everything was going to flow, you know, right, because now there's 2 micron filters on the truck, the Airdog and the cat filter. But I took it for a 20-some mile drive last night. Wasn't anything really to report. I didn't notice a huge difference. You know, I had huge expectations for a $740 fuel application, so I didn't get what I was expecting. It does seem to pull quite a bit better, because that's one of the perks of the lift pump, was to have a better high-end fuel delivery, whatever. And it did seem to do a lot better in that aspect. It was smoother. It just went up, got up and went. I'm running the 90 95 horse tune from the Super Chip mini micro tuner or whatever it is, and the Profab turbo inlet, the PPE boost valve, brute force intake, which I saw that there was a heavy duty filter which was oblong and went down instead of, you know, just a round one. I don't know, I thought about that, if this one needs to be replaced. So if you notice down there, you got that little headlight adjuster rod sticking out, if you can see it. Anyway, if you look in there, you can see that there's a little rod sticking out. Yep, there it is. Right there. And if this filter drops out of our makeshift filter holder, then it slices hole in the filter media, as you can see right there where the mesh is torn. And that's just the light part of the tearing up. So, yeah, not a brilliant idea. But otherwise, the wiring's just run down underneath there. So here's the back side, in case you care, or not. Now, they gave me, sorry if it's noisy, they gave me just one length of hose, and I had to cut it up myself, instead of having to cut a bunch of pre-length chunks separately and splice them together and all that crap. They said it gives it a cleaner look and whatever. So I still have some extra, because I wanted to make sure I was going to have enough. I mean, they should have given me a bit more 90 degrees, because like this one that comes from the top of the tank, that's fine because it just comes out like that. You have to bend that shield, by the way, that's why it's crooked. But I had to come down here, go way back there, that one, come around, bend, and then go in. Like, it would have been nice if they had a 90 degree here, and this one, the big black one, and then it would have just come out that way, just like this one. This one's 90 degree, and I guess it makes sense. And what's nice about this pump is the fuel return to the tank, and that is nice because it's not shoving a bunch of pressure up there with no place to go, you know, if the truck's not using it all. So that'd be that. I don't know if you can see my massive this camera sucks for light. There are my hydraulic rear cap bushings. So, and I still have popping from these Nerf bars, I'm assuming, in the cap bushing department. If y'all have a fix for that, please let me know. Other than that, I'll crank it up one last time just so y'all can hear how much quicker it seems to fire up more consistently. You can measure it between the first time and this time. Kind of sounds like my dad's truck now. It's a consistent start, and it stays consistent pretty much from what I've noticed. I had to start it, like, tried to do a little Snapchat freaking blip yesterday, and that was retarded because you hit the record button and it wouldn't start recording until you started saying something. Well, then you start talking and then the thing starts moving, so then when you replays when you're done recording. So you had to time it perfectly, in other words. So I had to start the truck like 5 times because every time I hold it, I put my face right next to the phone and start talking, so I made sure it heard me, and it still wouldn't do it right. So I said a couple words, and I restarted what I said, and then started the truck. So, but yeah, here's my new Tekonsha brake controller. And for you that have a Tekonsha brake controller and know that there's a little knob on the bottom to actuate the brakes, I just reach my fingers through the bottom. No problems, can reach plenty. So that's that. And they don't give you enough cord, that's for sure, to run from that box down there, that black box, to here. I mean, the cable, the plug will reach just behind here, and that's it. But luckily I ordered the plug-and-play pigtail adapter, and we spliced just the hardwired cable they gave us with this and spliced the two together, so that way I've got double the length. So that's nice. So underneath my dash it's a freaking mess because I got subwoofer I put in new gauges, so I got the pyro, the boost, the high idle red wire, and the pigtail for the freaking brake controller, and just a bunch of shit. But I got my new factory match gauges, pyro, boost, and I got the 60 psi one because I'm thinking about getting a bigger turbo, thinking maybe Aurora 3000 or 4000 at some point in the future here. So that's that. My gauges are all sorts of fucked up. Well, there they go, the ABS and brake light. The code for that was something solenoid. I don't remember the code, whatever. But my oil pressure's all jacked up. And my temp for the trans, if I hit 181 degrees up there, it's saying just over 200 down here. But that's one of the most accurate gauges I have. Otherwise, coolant temp, when that says 120 degrees, that says 160. So, yeah. And the volts, obviously, I'm not doing that many volts. I'm doing 14 something. So. It does seem quieter though, actually. It really does, and it needs an oil change, so it's gonna get quieter or more quiet, whatever. Elastic shackles are doing good so far. It does ride smoother. I do notice it now. It's not jarring. It just kind of has more flex to it. And my leaf springs are getting weak because if those elastic shackles weren't on there right now, those pads on the bottom spring would be touching those. They would be sitting on the helper springs. So my leaf springs are weak. But, oh well. So, my handy dandy seat cushion replacement, since this is down to the springs. I mean, if I don't know if it's back here or not. No, it's not. Usually when I go to vacuum the truck out, there's foam chunks underneath the back of the seat there. So it's pretty much just gone. It's garbage. Nothing left but hurts after 10 hours. So. Now we're back in Minnesota. Gonna do head gaskets, head studs, and I can show you guys those right now. Not that it really matters, but they're upstairs sitting on a chair. Power steering pump is getting replaced as well as the water pump while we're in there. Okay, so for you guys that order from Lincoln Diesel and need to order head gasket kit, get the one with the manifold gaskets, or if you want to save yourself $15, order the gasket set that comes with studs without the valve seals and the valve cover grommets, or just the option with head studs without the manifold gaskets. That's what I did, and I received it without these guys. Like, no, I need valve seals, and I'm probably going to need the grommets too. So they give you these big cardboard things. Look at that, just for that little gasket. Okay. So then you just, everything's is in little packages, and it was just all in this box. I mean, my dad's gasket kit came in a nice big white box, probably about that thin, and it just, everything was in there nice and tidy. You weren't going to lose everything by having it all separated. So I didn't get manifold gaskets. That was a $65 option with this kit. And it was $50 shipped to my door for these guys, for the grommets and the valve seals. They said there's two different kits, a Victor Reigns kit, which is the one with the manifold gaskets, and then there's the Lincoln Diesel kit, which is the one without the gaskets. Grade C gaskets back here, and they send you this stuff. Like, okay, if you say so. Thread lock or whatever. Otherwise, everything else is here. They did give you injector coppers. Here you go. Like springs that we didn't use on Dad's truck because I'd never seen them before in my life. Stupid phone. Lighting sucks and the focus sucks. Okay. Then O-rings for the injectors. And it's nice to know, I was looking on their website, that you do not need injector cups to do head gaskets. I didn't know. I just heard something, can't get injector cups out, I need help, blah, 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 on the forums, you know. And I'm like, well, what do you need to get injector cups out for? And it's just nice to know that I don't need the injector cups. I mean, they've got their master injector replacement kit, and it pretty much just comes with these coppers, with O-rings. So that's that. Life's been busy. There's the new water pump, AC Delco, A1 Cardone, power steering pump. There are the studs, and that is and I forget what shaking. Empire Performance Engineering. What do we have? We have stage 1 750 horsepower push rods. So those were $330 a piece. I think $330. Or not a piece, for the set. Just because I heard, and I'm just going off of a rumor, that LB7 and push rods are kind of weak. That you'll blow, or bend a rod before you'll blow gaskets, or something stupid like that, you know, and it could just be one man's opinion. But. So I wasn't going to take the chance of doing head gaskets, romping on it with head gaskets and studs, because I want to leave it on the 90 horse too, and that sucker's fast. So I didn't want to take a chance on bending a rod, so I just got 750 horsepower rods, because that's really all I'm looking at doing. Max. I'm looking at 500, 550 is what I'd like to achieve with this truck. So, and I think she could take it. It's doing good right now. It's got a bit of a tick. I think the valve just needs to be adjusted. But anyway, I'll make this video shorter than 20 minutes, by a couple minutes. So I'll do update videos of the motor getting pulled, ripping down, getting planed, getting the valve seals replaced, all that fun stuff. Just because we got this tool from Craftsman. I think it was what, 35, 40 bucks. Valve spring compressor. Use this on Dad's truck. Works great. So those are all my tools I brought from Michigan. And I'm going to be posting these on eBay or Craigslist. Those ones are 5-inch clamps, those ones are 4-inch clamps for Sinister Diesel exhaust. Those are what they sent me. Well, the 5-inch ones came with my 4-inch exhaust, and so I sent them a letter, and they're just like, okay, here you go, 4-inch exhaust clamps. So I'm like, well, dude, we're in the middle of the project right now, and so we just went out and bought a bunch of O'Reilly's 4-inch exhaust clamps. Luckily they had them. We had to run to 2 different stores to get enough, but got them all. It's on there. And then I'm not sure I'm happy with the exhaust as much as I would like to be. It sounds good. It does. And with the muffler doesn't kick in until you're pretty much 3/4 throttle. I mean, it drones. And it's just not bent the way it should to go over stuff. Whatever. I'd like thicker exhaust so it'll be less of a drone. But anyway, till the next time. Thanks for